at 6 o'clock on Saturday the 23rd of December, and welcome to our Christmas edition of the weekly news programme. And in the news this week, volunteers at a historic learning centre in Dorset were recognised recently with an award presented by Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal at a ceremony at St James's Palace, London. The Princess Royal Training Awards are supported by the City and Guilds Association and showcase the investment in training made by an organisation and the considerable outcomes which can be achieved from upskilling their diverse workforce. Volunteers at the Ancient Technology Centre at Cranbourne were praised for their dedication to keeping traditional skills alive through a training programme which passes their knowledge on to other volunteers so the buildings can be maintained. The Ancient Technology Centre is considered one of Dorset's best kept secrets. The site is nestled in the heart of Cranbourne Chase and is home to several historic recreated buildings from the Stone Age through to the Anglo-Saxons. A variety of skills including thatching, working with lime plaster and woodworking have been shared. The centre also has specialist volunteers such as blacksmiths who have a skill that they use in their profession but who donate their time to the centre. The site is owned by Dorset Council but is supported by a team of volunteers who give their time to build and maintain wonderful structures so that children and the wider public can learn about prehistory and the Dark Ages. The award will be on display for visitors to see during one of 3 open weekends to be held at the centre early next year, and they are on the 30th and 31st of March, the 27th and 28th of July and the 21st and 22nd of September. And anyone visiting can also experience ancient crafts first hand. The centre can also be hired for private events, and there is more information on the centre's website at www.ancienttechnologycentre.com. That's www.ancienttechnologycentre.com. And well done to them for getting that award from the Princess Royal. A new life-saving defibrillator has been installed in Wyke, Regis thanks to the local scout group Weymouth South Scouts. The Weymouth South Scout group raised money throughout the year, which was a special year for them as the group celebrated their 80th anniversary. The defibrillator was installed at Lee House, which is a neighbour to the group's headquarters in Rylands Lane, Wyke, Regis. The defibrillator will be accessible 24 hours a day, and people close by can access it by making a 999 call to the ambulance service, who will give them the access code if they feel it's necessary that a defibrillator is deployed. A spokesperson for Weymouth South Scout Group said, "We are extremely excited to announce that as part of our 80th birthday celebrations this year, we have completed our task to thank the brilliant community of Wyke, Regis, Rodwell and Weymouth by fundraising and installing a defibrillator near our Scout base in Rylands Lane, Wyke, Regis. We hope and pray that no one will need it. That no one will need to use it though. Special thanks to Lee House and Wyke Horticultural Society for supporting us, and to all the brilliant businesses and locals who donated raffle prizes and financial donations throughout the year as part of our fundraiser." Now, Chickerell Camp in Weymouth is being used to temporarily house families of Afghan nationals who worked with or for the British Armed Forces and other government departments throughout operations in Afghanistan. The resettlement is part of the MOD's ARUP scheme, Afghan Relocations and Assistance Policy. This week saw the arrival of the first residents. However, there are high numbers of very small children who have arrived as part of the first contingent. It's reported that families have moved in with very few possessions. Their flights did not allow them to bring many items, and most had few things to start with. The situation was identified by Chickerell Town Council in conjunction with the Chickerell Army Camp and Weymouth Town Council's Mayor, Councillor Kate Weller, after speaking to staff at the Chickerell Camp. Council Weller subsequently contacted Weymouth and Portland Lions Club for assistance, and now local Lions are working with the Weymouth Veterans Hub, Weymouth Rotary Club and Weymouth and Portland Town Councils on an appeal for items to help welcome the families to Chickerell. President of the Weymouth and Portland Lions Club said, "We are seeking donations of new or pre-loved warm clothes, adults, women's, men's and children, coats, shoes and toys, both to gift to the families who are currently housed at the camp and to build up a stock to ensure that the next set of families who arrive have items ready there to welcome them. Andy Price of Weymouth Veterans Hub added, "We understand that Christmas can be difficult and many families have already gifted to local charities. However, if you have something you can gift to these families, it will support them during their short stay here in Dorset before they are rehomed and give them the opportunity to rebuild their lives after the service they gave to our armed forces." So things that are required are school bags for older children, toys for all ages, pencils and colouring pens, warm clothes, coats and raincoats, bedding for babies, nappies, scooters and skateboards for older children. Donations can be dropped off at Chickerell Town Council offices after the 2nd of January, the Veterans Hub in Wyke, Regis directly after the Christmas break, and the Mulberry Children's Centre Monday to Friday. So if you can help with that appeal for those Afghan families that are coming into Chickerell Camp, that will obviously be very much appreciated. Now, volunteers are busy ensuring struggling families get help this Christmas as they reveal there's been a huge increase in the amount of people using Weymouth Food Bank. In the 8 months up to August this year, a total of 4,573 people visited the food bank to pick up food, compared to 2,616 for the same period in 2022. That's an increase of 75%. The scale of food poverty in the Weymouth area is a real problem, according to the charity's warehouse manager and trustee Andy Wyke. The cost of living crisis is hitting the people of Weymouth hard, and Mr White has also noticed a change in the type of people he sees using the food banks. Christmas is one of the busiest periods of the year for the food bank's warehouse situated on the Granby Industrial Estate. As well as providing the regular food deliveries to its 3 collection points across Weymouth, the team of volunteers have also been providing extra Christmas hampers. The food bank has already helped more people in the first 8 months of 2023 than for the whole of 2022. And to keep up with demand, the charity is having to rely more on buying food, and it estimates it is spending around £2,000 a week to supplement the donations that it already receives. The food bank is run by churches across Weymouth, with its warehouse situated on the Granby. The policy is that no one will be turned away without food the first time they visit, but a referral system is in operation for future visits, and people will be advised about this when they drop in. The charity is looking mainly for non-perishable goods and also welcomes financial donations which go towards buying food and helping to pay the utilities and bills at its warehouse. Now, you can find out more by giving them a call on 0753 116 7465. That's 0753 116 7465, or you can visit them online at www.weymouthfoodbank.co.uk, or go onto Facebook and look for Weymouth Food Bank. E-bike owners are being reminded about the potential fire risk associated with lithium-ion batteries following an incident in Bournemouth this week. Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue Service was called to a block of flats in Westover Road at 1:31 a.m. after reports of a fire on the 5th floor. Thankfully, the smoke alarm system activated, which meant everyone within the property was able to evacuate safely. An investigation found that the fire started accidentally in a converted electric bike within one of the flats. Station manager Sean Milton said, "We know that e-bikes and e-scooters are increasingly popular, but it's vital that owners understand what to look for when buying them and how to charge them safely. Anyone buying an e-bike conversion kit should always purchase from a reputable seller and check that it complies with British or European safety standards. You should also check that the various components are compatible." Now, Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue have a special page on their website for e-bikes and battery safety, and that's at www.dwfire.org.uk/e-bikes and -e-scooters. So that's www.dwfire.org.uk/e-bikes-and-e-scooters. I'm sure if you search for Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue e-bikes, you will get to that page without having to remember that long web address. Now, business improvement districts across the county are set to receive a boost in the form of £5,000 funding from the Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner. Earlier this year, Dorset's Police and Crime Commissioner David Civic launched a Business Crime Community Fund to enable business improvement districts, or BIDs, to apply for funding for initiatives that aim to reduce retail crime or violence against shop owners. Now the PCC, or Police and Crime Commissioner, has announced that the 7 bids across Dorset were successful in their applications for a total of £35,000 of funding. The funding will be used for projects and initiatives including increasing CCTV, support implementing crime prevention software, and a project to improve business knowledge on crime prevention. Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner David Civic said, "I hope that this funding will strengthen the partnership working already fostered by our local BIDs and help them to deliver lasting changes in their area. It is only by working together and sharing intelligence that we can truly tackle the crimes that face our business communities across Dorset." Now, staying with the Police and Crime Commissioner, Dorset's Police and Crime Commissioner is asking members of the public for their views on paying an additional £1.08 per month. If approved, the figure would see those living in a Band D property paying an extra £13 a year for policing in the county. Each police force is funded through a combination of funding from Precept and a government grant, and the government has now announced the budget for policing, which presumes that PCCs, or Police and Crime Commissioners, will raise the Precept by £13 a year. The Commissioner needs the support from the people of Dorset to ensure that the ongoing process of investment and improvement in Dorset Police can continue. PCC David Civic said this year the government have set the limit under what was expected. With inflation being high, that £13 is equivalent to an increase of 4.6% below inflation and will not enable the level of service improvement that the public, the Chief Constable and I want to see. But I will keep fighting to get a better, fairer deal for Dorset when it comes to funding. I hope that the people of Dorset will look at all the work that is happening over the last year, read some of the newsletters on my website to find out more about what the force and my office and commission partners are doing on your behalf, and then take part in the survey and give me your thoughts and opinions, because together over the last year we have made a difference and I want to continue. Now, if you'd like to take part in that survey for the Police and Crime Commissioner and to give him your ideas on whether you'll accept that rise and spend where the money can be spent on, the website is www.surveymonkey.com/r/precept24media. So that's www.surveymonkey.com/r/precept24media. I'm sure if you search for Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner, you'll get to David Civic's website, and there will be a link there to take that survey as well, which may again be a bit easier than remembering that very long website address. Now, staying with things policing, officers from Dorset Police are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward following a burglary in Weymouth. At around 9:55 p.m. on Thursday the 14th of December, a report was received of a man acting suspiciously in Blenheim Road. Officers attended and it was found that a garage had been broken into and a quantity of food and alcohol had been stolen. The stolen items were later recovered and returned to the victim. The suspect is described as white, 6 feet tall and of slim build with dark hair and a beard. He was wearing a light-coloured hooded jumper, tracksuit bottoms and was carrying a rucksack. Officers are also investigating a report of attempted burglary at a home in Weymouth and are issuing CCTV images of a man they are looking to identify, and you can see the CCTV on the screen. At around 3:20 a.m. on Saturday the 16th of December, a man was seen trying a car door handle and trying to gain entry to a property in Radipole Lane in Westham. No entry was gained and nothing was taken, and that is the CCTV of that gentleman there. And finally, officers from Dorset Police are investigating a road traffic collision near Dorchester and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with dashcam footage to get in touch. At around 10:40 a.m. on Monday the 18th of December, a collision occurred involving a red Ford Focus and a white Renault panel van on Waddock Drove near Hurst Moreton. The occupants of both vehicles attended hospital for treatment to injuries and they were not believed to be serious. Officers attended and carried out inquiries at the scene. Now, if you can help with any of those crimes, or you have got an idea who that is in the CCTV image on the screen, then you can get in touch with Dorset Police in the usual way, calling the non-emergency number 101. Or if you wish to give the information anonymously, you can do it via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Excuse me. The government has set an ambitious target to increase rail freight by 75%. Even more vital goods will be transported across the UK by rail, following an announcement by the Transport Secretary Mark Harper to grow rail freight by at least 75%. From delivering food to supermarkets to transporting building materials to construction sites, rail freight is a vital part of everyday life in the UK, carrying tens of billions of pounds worth of vital goods. The announcement is designed to demonstrate the government's drive to grow the rail freight industry even further and boost the considerable economic growth it delivers across the country by supporting supply chains and thousands of high-skilled jobs. Not only does this target provide the sector with certainty by setting a clear pace for growth through to 2050, but it will also lead to significant environmental benefits by taking lorries off our roads, slashing emissions and congestion in the process. For example, just one train can replace up to 129 heavy goods vehicles, and a ton of freight moved by rail produces about a quarter of the carbon emissions it does by road. Now, the Transport Secretary Mark Harper said, rail freight helps keep this country moving, ensuring our supermarket shelves are stocked and materials are supplied to our construction workers. Not only is it the most efficient and environmentally friendly way of transporting many goods, but it helps grow the economy across the country. This ambitious plan demonstrates the government's confidence in the rail freight sector, and I hope it encourages businesses to capitalise on the extra opportunities so the industry continues to thrive and deliver for our country. So the announcement delivers on the commitment made by the Transport Secretary in his George Bradshaw address earlier this year, along with fulfilling commitments in the department's plan for rail and transport decarbonisation. The target will encourage further private sector investment in projects that will grow and modernise the industry, such as GB Rail Freight's new state-of-the-art maintenance facility in Peterborough, which was officially opened by the Transport Secretary in September this year. Now, staying with transport, while the maritime sector is a cornerstone of the UK economy year-round, its significant escalates during the Christmas season. As much of the country gets ready for a break from work, the maritime sector remains in full swing, with vessels arriving at UK ports even on Christmas Day. Given that 95% of trade volume reaches the UK by sea, it's no surprise that a considerable share of Christmas merchandise, including gifts, decorations and Christmas trees, is imported. The maritime sector plays a crucial role in ensuring the timely arrival by orchestrating and transportation and logistics of shipments from international suppliers. Strategic planning is required to deliver the logistical challenge that comes with the festive period, and according to analysis by the Department of Transport, September is the busiest month for the arrival of Christmas decorations into UK ports by container, making their way into shops in good time for Christmas. Now, Lord Davies, who's the Maritime Minister, said this week, "As we approach the festive season, I would like to express my gratitude to those sacrificing time with their families and friends, particularly those who are away at sea and working at ports." Every year the maritime sector ensures that stockings are full, gifts are wrapped, and the holiday spirit sails smoothly into every household across the UK. Their ceaseless commitment ensures the festive season is truly special. Now, ports are at their peak in the run-up to Christmas, with the Port of Dover handling twice as much freight and tourist traffic as normal. This often means longer working hours for seafarers and staff over the festive season to ensure operations and journeys run smoothly. Ports are also vital to the sector's future, which is why the government is currently reviewing the national policy statement for ports to support their development. So think of those port workers and those people at sea this Christmas period, moving goods all around the world to make sure that we get the things that we need. Now, objections to a new takeaway food outlet for Weymouth Town Centre has not deterred Dorset Council from approving it. Residents and other takeaway owners objected to the proposal for the former Corner House Cafe at 50 St Mary Street, which could be open until 4 a.m. in the morning in the summer. Many said the area already has more than enough food outlets and complained of noise and disturbance until the early hours. Another takeaway owner said the extra outlet would put all of the existing businesses at risk, with many already struggling because of rising costs and the economic downturn. Dorset Council, however, decided that despite the objections in planning terms, there were no grounds to reject the application for a change of use from a cafe restaurant to a takeaway, which will involve few external changes to the building. An indicative plan shows seating for around 8 people inside. Now, people in Dorset are being asked to check whether they need to contact the police before they report any incidents this Christmas and New Year. Call handlers receive thousands of calls every year asking for help, which the police are unable to give, such as noisy neighbours and lost dogs. Dorset Police is now urging people to remember the slogan, "When something's wrong, report it right," to ensure callers get the best help from the most appropriate services and without taking up time of police staff who may otherwise be dealing with more urgent queries and crime. Now, some of the examples of things that Dorset Police get calls for that they can't help with is noise pollution, which is dealt with by environmental health departments at the local council, lost and found dogs, which should go to the dog warden, bad parking, which goes to the council's parking enforcement departments, legal advice, which you should go to citizens' advice for, and power outages, which you should go to your power distributor for, and there is a special number for that in emergencies, which is 105. Of course, when there is an emergency or crime in progress, people should still call 999, and for non-urgent policing matters, they should call 101. And finally, in this week's headlines, Dorset Council's Health and Activity team are looking for volunteers to help lead health walks. A health walk is a volunteer-led walk in your local area that is inclusive and can be between 30 minutes to 90 minutes, but most are about an hour. They are not just a great way to take regular exercise, but also to meet new people and to enjoy social interaction with people in the community. Now, Dorset Council are looking for people with some time available on weekdays to help their teams of volunteers leading these walks. They need leaders in all locations, so wherever you live, there's an established walk near you. No experience is necessary other than a willingness to get involved and meet people, and any training you need is supplied. Now, if you would like to help with that, or if you've got any questions, you can email Dorset Health Walks at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. So that's Dorset Health Walks at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk, or you can phone 01425 480 811. That's 01425 480 811. Now, lots in the headlines this week, and that is the end of our headlines this week. Now, this week we're going to showcase the natural beauty of the RSPB Reserve at Arn. You'll remember that over recent weeks we have been sharing with you some of Dorset's national landscapes. Now, the RSPB Arn covers more than 565 hectares of the Arn Peninsula and is a haven for wildlife, birdlife and a wide range of flora. With woods, heathland and wetland, a visit to Arn gives a good chance of seeing deer and lots of birds, especially from the hides on the edge of Poole Harbour. Arn remains one of the few places in the UK where all 6 of the UK's native reptiles can be found. Situated on Poole Harbour and within the Dorset National Landscapes, it's a stunning landscape which consists of dramatic open heathland and ancient oak woodland. And let's take a brief look at it now. There we go, and as we said in recent weeks, that there are plenty of other national landscapes in Dorset, and you can visit them. And over Christmas and New Year, if you're looking for a family walk or to get out and get some fresh air, then maybe one of our national landscapes is a good place to visit. If you want more details on any of them, there is a special website at www.dorset-nl.org.uk, www.dorset-nl.org.uk, and there you will find all of those national landscapes in Dorset. Now, staying with a sort of outside theme and wildlife theme, next tonight, hedgehogs and other small animals will be better protected on English roads under rule changes announced yesterday, which will make it easier for local authorities to put up wildlife warning signs. The current hedgehog sign will be updated following feedback from the sector to make it clearer for drivers. Obviously, lots of us see dead hedgehogs and other animals on the side of the road, which is always sad to see. Alongside this, rules around the small wildlife warning signs will be relaxed to make it easier for local authorities to put up small wildlife warning signs, helping to better protect hedgehogs and other small animals. Now, changes are made by the Department of Transport, and it will ensure that local authorities are able to place these small animal warning signs up in the most important places without having to apply for the department on a case-by-case basis, which is the current arrangement. Currently, if they want to put a sign up, they have to get permission for individual signs, and that is no longer necessary. To mark the change, Transport Secretary Mark Harper visited Tiggy Winkle's Wildlife Hospital in Buckinghamshire to meet a host of furry and spiky friends, many on the mend from road traffic accidents. And we've got a bit of video of that visit here, showing some of those animals that Tiggy Winkles are looking after.
Here at Tiggy Winkle's Wildlife Hospital, where they nurse wild animals back to health before they release them to the wild, I've had the chance to weigh a hedgehog. 600 grams is how much they should weigh before they get back into the wild. We've seen not just the hedgehogs that they nurse back to health, but all of the wide variety of animals that are here. And what we're here to promote is this road sign, which is the small wild animal sign. At the moment, local authorities have to come to my department to get permission before they use it. That adds in a piece of bureaucracy in the chain, and what I've decided to do is to pre-authorise the use of that sign, so in future local authorities can use it based on their own decision making. If they think there's an issue locally where there's a road safety issue because of wild animals, they can use that sign and protect mammals from motorists and motorists from mammals without having to seek the permission of my department. So we've taken some work out of the process, some cost out of the process, and we've made it much easier for them to put these signs in the right places to improve road safety and reduce the number of wild animals being killed on our roads. And we've also had one of the hedgehogs be very interested in looking at this sign as well, recognised himself in the picture.
There we go, so look out for those signs as you're driving around the roads of Dorset, and take notice of the small animals. And just for interest, Tiggy Winkle's Wildlife Hospital was established back in 1978, so it's been operating for a long time by Les and Sue Stoker as a refuge for injured animals to receive treatment and rehabilitation. Now it's time in this week's programme to join our regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend, the final DCEU film Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom releases in cinemas. The film stars Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and revolves around Momoa's Arthur Curry becoming bored with ruling Atlantis despite having a loving family, when he is forced to team up with his half-brother to stop a ruthless pirate who seeks revenge against him. The film is once again directed by James Wan, who became famous for kickstarting the Saw, Insidious and Conjuring franchises. I think I saw something this morning saying that the film had negative reviews, but I don't know what it'll be like, so you have to go see it in the cinema. However, this is likely to be the last film featuring Jason Momoa as Aquaman, due to James Gunn's rebooted DC universe. However, Momoa is rumoured to be in discussions for another role in the DCU. This weekend, the Zack Snyder sci-fi epic Rebel Moon releases on Netflix. The film is the start of an entirely new sci-fi universe with its own unique mythology. The film stars Sophia Boutella, Charlie Hunnam, Djimon Hounsou, Ray Fisher and Anthony Hopkins. The film is set in a fictional galaxy ruled by the Motherworld, with an oppressive military, and a former soldier goes on a quest to recruit warriors to make a stand. The version of the film that's releasing on Netflix this weekend is a more family-friendly version, with an extended, more adult cut expected to release in 2024. The film is also titled Part 1, with Part 2 scheduled for release in April, and a third film is in development. Currently, the film has only about 25% positive reviews from critics who praise the visuals but criticise the unoriginality of the story. The film is on Netflix right now, but due to my Christmas schedule, I don't know when I'll be able to watch it, so stay tuned, as I only just recently watched Haunted Mansion, and I got that back in October. We're finally in the Christmas season, so I'm sure a lot of you will be putting on your favourite holiday movies. For a lot of people, the go-to classics are Home Alone, Elf, It's a Wonderful Life, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Actually got that recently. I do like the first 3 Home Alone films, and I do like Die Hard as a good Christmas movie. There's a lot of debate out there about what films are Christmas films. Die Hard has been long debated. I personally consider it a Christmas film. Iron Man 3 is, I think the director said that's a Christmas film. And then the 2005 musical film Rent has recently been declared a Christmas film by one of the actors. But probably for me, the Home Alone films are the ultimate Christmas films, mainly because John Hughes wrote great scripts for the first 3 films, and I love John Hughes films like The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So yeah, I really love Home Alone. Feel free to reach out on social media via Wyke Regis TV and let me know your thoughts. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will talk about the new Taika Waititi film Next Goal Wins and the new Michael Mann film Ferrari, which is a biopic based on the life of Enzo Ferrari. Now back to Gary in the studio, and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and a Merry Christmas to you too. Now it's time in this week's programme for not only the weekend weather forecast, but our forecast running into Christmas Day. And we're going over to Ellie Glazier at the Met Office.
Good afternoon. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. The wet and windy weather that we've seen over the past couple of days doesn't look like it's going anywhere, and some mild conditions too due to this area of high pressure out towards the south, bringing us some warmer air over the past couple of days and over Christmas Eve and Christmas Day too. Through Christmas Day, a frontal system pushes its way eastwards, bringing some wet and windy weather. But into Boxing Day, we do see a brief ridge of high pressure and perhaps something closer to average with those temperatures. Back to the rest of Saturday though, and it's a very cloudy picture for most of us. Some heavy rain as well for western parts of Scotland, perhaps up to 80 millimetres in places. There's likely to turn to snow across the very far northeast as well. We could even see up to 15 centimetres over any high ground. Further south though, perhaps a few brighter spells, mainly towards the southeast, but it'll be a very cloudy and blustery day too. Those temperatures around 11 or 12 degrees across the south, but in the very far northeast of Scotland, perhaps a bit of frost with temperatures in the low single figures. Through the rest of Saturday, that rain across Scotland slowly pushes its way south and eastwards across the rest of the UK overnight tonight and in towards Christmas Eve, turning particularly heavy across western parts of Wales. Again, we could see up to 80 millimetres here. Generally cloudy picture across much of the rest of the south of the UK, but further north perhaps some clearer spells, but blustery showers continue to push in from the west into the start of Christmas Eve. It will be another very mild night across the board, perhaps even around 11 or 12 degrees across the south, but further north a little bit chillier and perhaps even some frost across the very far northeast. So a cloudy, damp and blustery start to much of England and Wales on Christmas Eve. That rain continues to spread its way eastwards as we go through in towards the afternoon. Further north, perhaps a few brighter spells between any of those showers, but those showers will continue to push in from the west. Could turn wintry across any high ground of Scotland. It'll also be a very windy day for Scotland and particularly for northeast England, where we could see gusts up to 70 miles an hour, bringing some tricky driving conditions, particularly to high-sided vehicles in northeast England. It'll be a very windy day again and another mild day. Those temperatures around 13 or 14 degrees, so significantly above average for the time of year. And even in Scotland, still above average despite those northerly winds. Through the rest of Christmas Eve, that rain across the southern half of the UK slowly pushes its way towards the southeast, so turning drier for a time. But showers continue to push in from the northwest, turning wintry again across parts of northern Scotland. In towards Christmas Day, and it's a very wet and windy picture for much of England and Wales. Heavy rain pushes in from the west, spreading its way eastwards as we go through the afternoon. Parts of Scotland may see a few brighter spells, but some snow across parts of the Highlands will mean it's a white Christmas for parts of Scotland. Another mild day, particularly for the south, around 12 or 13 degrees, but some blustery winds taking the edge off those temperatures. Through the second half of Christmas Day in towards the evening, that rain eventually clears its way towards the southeast, so definitely turning drier across England and Wales later, and those showers starting to ease a touch across Scotland as well. This will lead to a bit of a frosty start for some as we go into Boxing Day, and Boxing Day itself probably the best day of the next few days really. Plenty of dry weather around for most of us, still a bit of cloud across much of England and Wales, but definitely feeling much more pleasant with those strong winds definitely easing. A few showers still across northern parts of Scotland. These could turn wintry over any high ground, but temperatures across the board much closer to average, maybe 9 or 10 degrees across the south and around 5 or 6 degrees across parts of Scotland. That dry weather doesn't look like it's set to last though, with further wet and windy weather on its way later in the week. But you can find out more about that by subscribing to our YouTube channel so you never miss a weather update. Bye bye.
Thank you very much there, Ellie, for the weekend and Christmas weather forecast. And just looking at more locally, I'm sure we're going to see that it's going to be mild, wet and windy, and yes, there we go. Here's the local weather showing that it could be mild, wet and showery over the coming week. Normally this time of year we're actually in sort of freezing temperatures, but having had just a few days of low temperatures this winter season so far, we seem to be suffering from the mild and wet stuff, and that looks to continue over the Christmas weekend. Now, turning to what's on, not too much to mention to you on the what's on this week, as many places are taking a break, but just to highlight some of the things at Wayne's Pavilion, which is still very much active. The Christmas pantomime Snow White runs until the 31st of December, so another week there. 5th of January, the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra New Year Viennese Gala. 12th of January, the Big Country Show. 19th of January, Queen Rhapsody. And 20th of January, the Rolling Stones Story. More shows coming up at Weymouth Pavilion. Go along to their website, www.weymouthpavilion.com, or give the box office a call on 01305 783 225. Now, the Node Fort, nothing much on there at the moment. The Node Fort is now closed until February. For its sort of winter maintenance and refurbishment, so that has not got anything on at the moment. We'll obviously let you know as it opens again and what's coming up. Arts Reach, I haven't had a chance to look at the Arts Reach programme. It literally arrived in the post today, a new Arts Reach programme arrived in my post box with the programmes from January onwards, so I'll be looking at them this week, ready to advise you next week. But if you've got a bit of spare time over the Christmas period, pop along to their website, www.artsreach.co.uk, and see what they've got coming up. I've just had a quick flick at the programme, and as usual there are loads and loads of shows all over Dorset and all sorts of different things, so an interesting programming coming up there, and I'll share more about that with you next week. Now, it is the season of Christmas, so just mentioning church services this weekend. As it's Christmas Eve tomorrow and it falls on a Sunday, the only morning service tomorrow in the Wyke, Regis and Lanehouse area is 8 o'clock at All Saints Church. The normal 9:30 and 11 o'clock services are not happening, but at 4 p.m. is the family Christmas celebration, the crib service at All Saints Church. All sort of family and children are very welcome to that. You're encouraged to dress up as your favourite nativity character. And at 7 o'clock, the same service at St Edmund's Church, Lanehouse. So again, families, children, dress up as nativity characters and pop along to St Edmund's Church. 11:30 midnight mass at All Saints Church, and then on Christmas Day, 9:15 a.m. at All Saints Church, so slightly different. 9:15 a.m. one service, and 11 o'clock at St Edmund's Church on Christmas Day. Now, our other programme tonight is our quiz. Tonight it is a Christmas quiz, so we have some Christmassy questions for some of the rounds. That's at 7:30 p.m. The stream goes live at 7:20. Anyone is welcome to join us. It's free and it's family friendly, and it's just a bit of fun on a Saturday night. So do join us on this channel if you would like to this evening. And really, that brings us to the end of this week's show. And just to say that I hope you have a good weekend, and I hope you have a good Christmas as well. So on behalf of everybody at Wyke Regis TV, I'd like to wish you and your families and friends a very happy Christmas. We'll be back with you next Saturday before the New Year's weekend. So hope you have a good week. If you've got anything for us this week, do drop us a line, news@wykeregis.tv. If not, we will see you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. And in the meantime, it just leaves me to say happy Christmas and see you next week.